semester, right?
Yes.
And also, when can we identify the journals as analytical, even though it's not straightforwardly mentioned in the methodology part?
Okay, this part I don't understand. Methodology part, so you want to know how do we make it analytical?
No. So, for example, it didn't mention whether it's analytical or descriptive, but then from what we read, we think it's an analytical journal. Should we include that or not?
Okay, Samuel, good question. Your entire assignment is an analytical analysis, okay? So, for methodology, when you cross-analyze, you know, why they use questionnaire, Likert scale, Likert scale, Likert scale. So, when you start seeing information across, automatically your work will become analytical. So, you don't have to classify it whether it's descriptive or analytical, because it is, when you start analyzing, it will become analytical naturally.
No, miss. What I meant is, what for example, journal 1, it mentions it's descriptive. Journal 2 and 3 did not mention whether it's descriptive or analytical.
Then
So
you can do that one.
Oh, so we don't have to mention.
Yeah, because the most important is you can look at it whether it's quantitative or what. That's good enough.
Okay, miss. And for the introduction, are we supposed to write, you said 3 paragraphs, right? So does that mean 1 paragraph for the research objective and background for each journal?
Sorry, repeat your question.
So there's 3 paragraphs for introduction.
Yeah.
Does each of them for each of the journals objective and background?
That's right. 1 paragraph, 1 journal. So every journal will have the aim. You put that as your first line.
Okay, miss. And the next question is, if the research did not specify a sampling method, we do not need to mention it, or is there a specific term for it?
What method are we talking about here?
If for example, it just says it takes a sampling of how many. It did not say use any method. It did not mention.
That is already quantitative. You can say that it's quantitative.
So we don't have to specify what sampling method they use, because it didn't mention. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine because we cannot assume, right?
And miss, and during the tutorial, I think we didn't really discuss until the part for the literature review. So I think we might lack some understanding on how to do literature review. Well,
tutorial.
We didn't have enough time during our tutorial few weeks ago, so we didn't really discuss.
Okay.
We didn't do any course evaluation together.
Okay, let me just see. Which tutorial do you belong to? Are you under my tutorial?
Yes, T13.
Wait, let me just pull up my timetable. Because so many tutorials, I'm confused which one. Wait, T13. T13 was last Tuesday. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, when was the replacement?
Monday, miss.
We had our replacement, right?
On Monday,
Yes.
miss.
Okay, so now the question is you are not clear because you couldn't. What?
I don't think we managed to have a proper cross evaluation on the literature review part. For example, for the results discussion methodology, we all did as a group and cross evaluate each other's work, but I don't think we managed to do it for literature review.
For lit review, I cannot because so many tutorials I can't remember. T13. So we didn't have a session, is it, on literature review?
Yeah.
Okay, what did we do on Monday? I'm so sorry, I'm a bit confused. During the replacement, we did results and discussion, is it?
Yes.
Okay, guys, what I can do is I can show you a sample work after this. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, so I'll show a sample work on how to do on how to do literature review. Is that okay? Can I do that towards the end of the lesson?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so if you have no questions, okay, today the last lesson was on critical thinking, right? Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, today we're going to look at research and ethics. Okay, research and ethics is actually a very straightforward, very easy and very simple topic. All right, it's a very short topic in fact. Okay, so just give me a second. I've pulled out. Okay, I'm going to share a link with you. If you need to know where to access this material, you can go to this link, yeah? The one that I'm going to, you have the slides actually, but if you want to go to that I'm going to do in a while. Into the slides that I'm going to share with you. All right, now, guys, what do you understand with the term ethics? Lausian. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, please do participate. You know why I'm saying this? Some of you, you send message after the class, Miss, I was there. Unfortunately, attendance not given because I had internet issue. Okay, fine. If you have internet issue, I do understand, but I will ask for evidence of your participation. If you can't give me evidence of your participation, I also cannot grant an attendance because I need some evidence. So if you do not participate in all these, chat, in responses, you won't be able to give me any form of evidence saying that you have participated in the tutorial or in the lesson. If you can't give me evidence, meaning I also cannot grant an attendance to you unless you send a note during the class time saying that I'm having all these issues, can you help me out? The thing is, you come back to me after 2 days, after 1 week, oh, I was there. How can I recall your attendance and your presence? So I will ask you to pull out this kind of chat, then you have to give me evidence. All right. Okay. Zian said moral. Samuel said attitude. Hassan said good qualities, behavior. Very good. Okay. So when we say ethics, ethics is often associated with principle, with moral values, with behavior, with good attitude, and so on. Right? Okay. So now, my next question is something related to today's, topic. Okay, I'm going to give you a link here. I want you to answer this question. Okay, how is research, the question is, how is, you'll get the link in a while, okay? How is ethics related to that is the question. Okay, how is ethics related? Is my question clear? Okay, so this is the link. I want you to share your thoughts. Share your thoughts, and I want 100% participation. Okay, if you are in the class, meaning you have to participate. It's not an option. All right, I want you to participate. Okay. Okay, please share your responses, guys. Tell me how ethics, like what you have said, How is that related to research? Okay, I could give you the QR code as well. Okay, I don't see any reply. Are you able to?
Yes, you haven't seen the link.
The link is okay. I'll just share the screen. See if you could scan. Yeah, some of you have started responding. Aim of the research. How is ethics related to research? Aim of the research. Okay. They promote aims for research. Okay. Okay. When we say ethics, how do we ensure that we are ethical when we do research? Try to go along that line. How do we ensure that we are ethical when we do research? Non-biased, non-vulgar, very good. Okay, element of biasness, that's a very important keyword. Okay, moral, morality, honesty. Okay, very good, very good. Reliable, okay. Respect, very good. What else? Acknowledging people's work, excellent. Morality, honesty, do proper citation and paraphrase, yes. Okay, so a lot of keywords, a lot of you have spoken about honesty, integrity. All right, that's a very important keyword there. No plagiarism. Okay, very good. No plagiarism. Okay, reliable. Okay, all right. Moral. Okay, nice. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is what you think. Okay, integrity, no plagiarism, very good. Okay. Okay, thank you for your participation. All right, so now let me just share this in the chat. Okay. So thank you very much for participating. Okay, I think you understand quite a bit the connection between the word ethics and research. Okay, very good, well done. So today what we're going to do is we're going to look at this. We're going to look at research and ethics. That's our topic for today. All right, are you ready for the lesson? Are you ready?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Okay, good. Good morning, everybody. Okay, welcome to Research and Ethics lesson. All right. So when we say research, you cannot take away the element of ethics in research. All right. You know, people always say, what is your aim to make money? How do you make money? Anyway, I don't care as long I make money. What about element of ethics? I don't care as long I make money. So that is not good. All right, so in research it's the same. You cannot tell the people, okay, I'll get the research done. How are you going to do? Don't worry about that, but the research will be done. So that is not allowed because we have to follow the code of conduct. We have to ensure that we follow the right way, the healthy way of conducting research. Okay, now, so today what we're going to do is we're going to look at this element. We're going to look at goal of ethics. We're going to look at subjects' rights. Okay, by now you should know the term subject. So when we say subject's right, what are we referring to, guys? What is subject here? Can I get some reply? What is subject? I don't see anything in the chat. Researchers. Yes, Elvis. Thank you so much. Okay. Subject means researchers. Okay. Very good. Now, so when we say subject, all right. Thank you very much. Yes, researcher. I'm looking at my phone, yeah, looking at your replies. Okay. Now, when we say researcher, okay, we have to take care of their rights. Now, participants. Okay. So when we say subject, the participants could be human, the participants could be animals as well. Okay. So this is what we have to take care of. Now, academic fraud. Have you heard of this term, academic fraud? Yes, no? This one, this term here, academic fraud. Have you heard of that? Yes, no? If yes, can you give me an example of academic fraud? Can you give me an example of academic fraud? Cheating in exam. Very good. Let me look at your reply. False information, plagiarism. Excellent. All of you so good. Okay. So maybe we can do the class test after this. Anyway, so today's learning outcome is, okay, we have to understand after the lesson, after I conduct the lecture, you must know the meaning of ethics. You must know the purpose of being ethical. You must know what are the guidelines. Yeah, we always say you have to be ethical. We have to be ethical, but how to be ethical? We're going to talk about that. This is very, very, very important. Types of academic frauds, very important. Okay, and then we will look at self-regulation in academic and ethical scenarios. Okay, so now what is ethics? Ethics means norms. Yeah, like just now you were saying morality and all that. It's correct. Attitude, morality, behavior, all that, it's correct. Okay, but generally if you look at the word ethics, the definition of the word ethics, it means norm. Norm means something that is a practice, something that you always do, that is a norm. Okay, so what about standards of behavior? Okay, what about standards of behavior? All right, goal in ethics. Okay, all those things are related to the term ethics. Okay, so now ethical problem. All right, now when we say ethical problem, okay, what are the problems we have? Principles to be followed in researching human. Let's say you have human as your sample. What will you do? Okay, before that, I would like to share something with you. I want you to watch something. 1 second. Anybody know a particular any research that involves human? Do you know any popular research that involves human? Anybody? Heard of? I want to share something with you. Do you know about the Nazi experiment? Do you know the Holocaust survivor? Guys, have you heard of the Holocaust experiment? Yeah, okay. I'm going to share that with you now, okay? And then we will take the slides further, all right? Okay, cloning, yes, you are right. It involves human, animal, you are right, okay? So, I'm going to share this with you now, okay? Okay, let's watch this before I start my slides, okay?
Village in Transylvania, Romania.
Eva Kor in her early 80s, full of life. But there was once a time when she never believed she would make it through her childhood. Her family, the only Jewish people in her small village, and one day everything changed.
And they passed all kind of laws to make our life difficult, or Jews, only on Jews. And we were the only Jewish people in the village. So in 1944, we were taken to a ghetto for a short time and then on to they said to a labor camp, but they loaded us into cattle cars. And 4 days later, we arrived in a God-forsaken place called Auschwitz. And within 30 minutes, my whole family was gone.
But Eva didn't have the typical Auschwitz experience. You see, Eva and her sister Miriam were in high demand because they were twins.
And we were processed. That meant that our hair was cut short. Our dresses were marked with a red cross, and they tattooed us. They heated the needle over the flame of a lamp. When the needle got hot, they dipped it into ink, and then they burned into my left arm, dot by dot. My tattoo is not very clear because I decided to fight them. Even if four people restrain me, but you can move your arm and the number doesn't come out very clear. I don't really know exactly. I have some idea because I have met with many of the twins that there were different experiments. Not all the experiments were the same. But we were used in experiment 6 days a week. Part of it was physical study of twins naked, measurements, comparisons to see how we were alike, how we were different, and how close we were to the Aryan race design.
Those experiments, physical tests by Nazi Dr. Josef Mengele, to study the similarities and differences in identical and fraternal twins. Eva and her sister were injected hundreds of times with mysterious substances.
Life in Auschwitz for a victim was unbelievably difficult. Surviving was difficult. Dying was very easy. What one needed to survive was two things: a lot of luck and an unbelievable will to live.
Eva says in between experiments, she and the other prisoners heard bombing and gunshots every day as World War II raged on around them. But then, one day, it was quiet, and unexpected visitors arrived.
And at a distance, we could see lots of people that did not seem to be inmates. They were dressed in white camouflage raincoats, and they were smiling from ear to ear. And there was no official to tell us anything, but one thing I could guess for sure, that they didn't look like the Nazis, and that was good enough for me. So we went up to them, they gave us chocolate, cookies, and hugs. And that was my first taste of freedom, to realize that we had survived unbelievable evil, that we were free and alive.
1,500 pairs of twins, 3,000 individuals, just 200 survivors. And Eva is one of them.
Well, I travel the world wherever people are interested in my story. I am mostly interested in two ideas. One, to convince those people who don't believe it that yes, indeed, there was an Auschwitz, there was a Mengele, there was a death camp, and that some people survived. And second, that I don't have to carry my pain for the rest of my life. I have the choice to forgive the Nazis and free myself.
Okay. Now coming back to the element of yes and no true. Okay. Now I'm coming back to the same question. All right. We are still there at ethics and research, and we will be there throughout. Okay. Now coming back to the same question. Yeah. So how, according to, now you have to answer according to the video that you have just watched. Okay. According to the video. Before I get to the video thing, wait, hold on. Maybe I will look at the slides. Okay, so now, was the participation voluntary in the video? I need you to answer this question, yeah? Today's lesson is going to be very much question answer, but it's a lecture, okay? It's a lecture, but I need you to participate, okay? Please be participative. This is not a typical lecture where I do all the talking and you do the listening, okay? It has got to be a two-way, all right? I got to use the phone because I need to check your messages. Okay, what does it say? It is not. So number one, principle, they have breached, because like what you guys have said and like what Samuel has said, they didn't have a choice. All right, they had to participate and they were killing all the Jews. Okay, number two, consent alone is insufficient. Now going back to this research, did they seek the consent of the parents of the children? Were they fully informed of the procedures, the risk, the physical and the psychological harm that they have to, perform on the patients? Did they do that? No, they didn't do that. Going back, their parents were dead. Okay, yeah, right. Some parents, they were not alive. They killed their parents. Okay, some they were just abducted. They went to like a guerrilla. They went to all the villages and just abducted all these children. Okay, so that happened. So what we mean is, by this is a very popular question in class test. Consent means an agreement you take from the participant. At the beginning of the research, you tell the participant these are all the risks, and then along the way, if the participant disagrees and says I want to withdraw, then you have to let the person go. You cannot force the person to participate in the research throughout. All right, so this is what we want to emphasize here. Principles, two things mainly. One is voluntary. Number two, consent alone is not enough. Remember that. Okay, in confidentiality is very important. We cannot reveal the identity of the participants, and it's very important for the researcher to explain the objective of the research. Do you think in the Holocaust experiment that was done? Okay, now questions here. All right, I need you to tell me what was the experiment, the Holocaust experiment, and question number two, I want you to just respond, okay, in the chat. Okay, how is this unethical? We know it's unethical, right? We have agreed. And how is this is my spelling correct? Yes, it is. Okay, can you all respond to these two questions, please? Just type in the chat.
Miss, I think you have muted.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you know, right? This Nazi, he had Hitler. He had something so into. He was so much into studying the twins. Okay, he was so keen. He wants to know a lot about the twins. He wanted to come up with some big time, breakthrough, research and all that. So they were killing all the Nazis. So we know this is definitely unethical. Okay, let's move on. Right, hold on, yeah, just give me a second. I just have to go on mute just for a second. Okay, so if you look at it, okay, thank you for your responses. Okay, I've checked your responses. Okay, I've replied to some of it. So if you look at it, okay, subjects' rights, okay, they were not given a choice. They didn't even know their rights. Most of them were killed. You know that? Do you know that, guys? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss.
They were actually killed when they were doing the experiment. Okay, and then they didn't even have a choice. It's not that they wasn't aware, but they didn't even have a choice to terminate their participation. In the first place, they didn't even want to join in that experiment. Okay, so what are the subject's rights when we do research is, okay, we have to ensure that the participants have, they are not physically or psychologically harmed. That is something that we cannot do. All right, they cannot be denied from beneficial treatment. Do you know what is beneficial treatment? Any idea what is beneficial treatment? Beneficial treatment means, sometimes certain experiments, they will have to give you some kind of additional follow-up or treatment because it shouldn't damage you physically or psychologically. I can think of one example. It's not really research, but it's an example related to additional treatment. You know about, companies, paint factories, right? Paint factories, they deal with a lot of colors. Am I right? You know about that? Paint factories, they deal with a lot of colors. Agree?
Yes.
There is one
Yes,
department
miss.
paint factory. Okay, they mix the colors. There's one department. I cannot remember what department it is because this is a personal story shared by a friend many years ago. He said if you were to work in this department, this is one of the very popular paint factories. Yeah, they said you cannot work in that department for more than 2 years because the colors can actually cause impact to your eyesight. Eventually, you will have issues with your eyesight, which may even lead to blindness. So, what the factory, the company policy is, you can only work there for a few years. After that, you go for some eye checkup. The company actually and then you are supposed to, if you're fit within that 2 years, if you're still fit, only then you can continue working in that department. And when you work in that department, you are very highly paid. Your incentive is very high because of the risk of the job. So now my question is, what is the additional treatment given to the employees who work in this department?
The policy, the eyesight checkup, and also the incentives.
Very excellent. Okay. Thank you so much. I was talking to a doctor over the weekend. I took somebody, a cancer patient, for a treatment, and the doctor was asking the history of the patient. Guys, the doctor was asking the history of the patient. So because the patient, yeah, cancer patient, so the doctor asked, where did you work? That person worked in, that person was a chemist. That person was a chemist working in a lab. It's a chemical lab, all right? So the doctor asked, what kind of chemical did you deal with? And then the person explained. And then the doctor said, high probability, okay, one of the highest probabilities of your cancer could be due to your job. Okay, I'm not saying don't be a chemist. I'm not saying it's dangerous. But this chemical, when you inhale, they kind of react very differently. Your body will react to it differently. But not everyone who worked in that department had, cancer. It's just that this person's body responded in a way. This is the doctor's hypothesis. There is no evidence. He said that could have triggered certain things in his body that it developed cancer. That is one of the stories. Story number 2. This is a true story, and both these stories are true. The second story is, this one is very obvious. Okay, we are talking about research. We're talking about ethics, right? We are talking about beneficial treatment here. You see, many years ago, I'm sure you know about X-ray, guys. You know about X-ray, right? Radio, you go to hospitals, you have the X-ray department, radiologist job,
Yeah.
right, the profession. So one of my neighbors, yeah, he died of cancer. My neighbor, okay, he died of cancer. And then he died at the age of 60 something, retired when he was 55, right? 55, government retirement, if I'm not mistaken. So after retirement, after 5 to 7 years of retirement, or 5 years of retirement, he developed cancer. Not only him, his fellow colleagues, former fellow colleagues who worked with him in the same department, also a few of them died of cancer. And then the guess, or rather the hypothesis is, you see, being a radiologist many years ago, they had been a radiologist for so many, not radiologists, like assistant radiologists, they've been there for so many years, all right? That time procedures were different. They didn't have all this kind of whatever, x-ray, whatever, radio, what is that thing that will cause radioactive, right? So they don't have a room with that kind of radioactive proof, room. People procedure were different. The radiographer may be in the same space, but just with one, platform dividing the patient and the radiographer. So they are always exposed, right, to radiation. They are always exposed to radiation. When they open the door, when they forget to slide the window, they are exposed to radiation. So over the period of years, they developed cancer. All right. But when they retire, they will just retire with whatever they have, and then they get their pension and so on, or their EPF, and that's it. But as they went on, they realized that it has its side effects. That's why in research, when there is something like that, you have to advise them on their beneficial treatment. Okay. Number 3, privacy is very important. You cannot reveal the details of your respondents. Okay, that's not allowed. That's not ethical. Okay, and they have the right to know the results of the research. Okay, is this clear so far? So good. Clear? Okay.
Yeah,
So
miss.
now the second half is academic fraud. Okay. Let's take a short break. All right. Short break before we get into academic fraud. Okay. I give you just a 5-minute break. Okay. So now this topic on academic fraud is a very big thing, right? It happens everywhere at all levels. Okay. Now, you guys are all, you know, in the public university in Malaysia, because I was always at the public university. You know what is the thing? Do you know what happens when we are caught cheating? Anybody has an idea?
Disqualify for the exam?
Disqualified for the exam. Okay. It's worse than that. Hassan, it's worse than getting a 0. It's worse than getting a 0. One more guess. Disqualified, yes. 0 also, yes, but it's worse than that. You know what is it? They don't expel you. They don't expel you. No rotan, you can't do rotan. You know what will happen? Permanent record, yes. Your face, your picture will be displayed in the university. Do you know how big my university is? National University of Malaysia is probably, I don't know, 5 or 10 times, 5 or maybe 10 times, or 10 times easily, or maybe more than 10 times bigger than Technology Park Malaysia. Okay, it's a university which is like maybe 10 times bigger than Technology Park Malaysia. If you want to know more details, you know, APU, if you have been to APU, we have Block A, Block B, Block C. Yeah? Block A, one block, 6 stories, is the size of our library. APU's one entire block, about 6 stories, is the size of our library. Okay, 30% of the campus is the size of the library. They will display your picture in public in the university, saying that you have copied. That's number 1. Number 2, you're not allowed to sit for any public examination for 3 years, including driving test. You cannot go for your driving test license also. You cannot go for any exam, public examination for 3 years, and your picture will be displayed there for for cheating in exam. Okay, that is what will happen if you are caught copying in the public university where I studied. I don't know about other public universities, but more or less it's the same. That's what, it's very, 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 very serious. Very serious. Okay, so now talking about this, right? So coming back to our slides here, okay. Let me share the slides. So in academic fraud, academic fraud, there are 3 types. Okay, number 1, fabrication. Number 2, falsification. And number 3 is plagiarism. Sorry, this is not bolded. Plagiarism. Okay, so what is fabrication? Fabrication means you make up your research data and then you publish. Falsification means you manipulate. You already have the data. In fabrication, you don't have the data, but you create your data. In falsification, you have the data, but you change the data. You manipulate the data. That is falsification. Okay? And plagiarism is when you use somebody else's work without acknowledging. When you don't acknowledge somebody else's work, meaning basically you copy somebody's work without citing, without citation, that is plagiarism. Sometimes students come for plagiarism meeting, okay? They said, Miss, yes, I have taken that person's work. I copied everything, but I have cited that person. Why is that plagiarism? It is definitely plagiarism, because you cannot take somebody else's idea, entire idea you put on your paper and say, I've cited that person. That is wrong. That is somebody else's work. That is not your own work. And then sometimes students say, okay, I have paraphrased everything. Right? I have paraphrased everything, and then I'll cite that person. That is also wrong. You cannot take somebody else's work, you paraphrase entirely and say this is my research. No, that is not your assignment, that is not your research, that is somebody else's work. And we can't give you marks for copying somebody else's work or assignment. Okay, so there is a big misconception about plagiarism among students. So I really hope that it is clear now. It doesn't mean you cite somebody entirely, you copy, you cite somebody. That is not, you cannot consider that as non-plagiarism. Okay. Yeah, Sardan, in Pakistan, there was a person who came to attend the exam. Oh, that happened in APU. I was just about to share that. You know what is that called? Impersonification. This person, because that is face to face, when before the lockdown, so the student sent somebody else to go for the exam. My name is Anuradha. I sent Amina, for example, to go for the exam, and the student was caught. The student was caught, and if we catch impersonification cases, if you impersonate somebody, it becomes a police case. So that became a police case. We reported to the police station. It became a police case. So let me tell you, okay, thank you for highlighting that, Sardar. It will become a police case. All right, so please do not get into this mess. Okay, now plagiarism is, okay, when you copy materials from any published or even unpublished sources, like assignments, your seniors' assignments, assignments of the previous intake. Those work are not published, but it is still considered as plagiarism. So it's not just whatever you copy from the internet. Even if it's not, that is also considered plagiarism. And another element of academic fraud is when you hire people to do assignment. When you hire somebody or you ask somebody to do your assignment, that is also classified as academic fraud, because you registered for the course, you do the assignment. You cannot ask somebody else to do the assignment and you can't type your name. Okay, it's very, very sad. It's very, very embarrassing to know that people are actually there to do assignment, taking money, okay, saying that you pay me, I will do assignment for you. You pay me, I do your final year project. You pay me, I do your thesis. It's a very big insult. It's a very embarrassing thing, but it's happening. Do not get into all this, because if you're caught, then we also can expel you from the university, and we have done it. Okay, we have expelled students for plagiarizing like this. Okay, I'm running out of battery. Hold on, I need to get the charger. 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so sorry, I was replying from my phone, but I need the laptop to project my slides. So sorry, when the battery goes off, sometimes it just happens. You wouldn't really get very, quick notification you get. Okay, I'm going back to my slide. Yeah, I found my slide, and let me continue. Okay, so yeah, I was saying, so no hiring people to do assignment and all that. Okay, all right, so I will keep the case study. All right, I'm going to I'll show you some other case study. So now, ethics for academia and researchers. So what is important is honesty. So a lot of people spoke about honesty just now in the word cloud, right? You had that here, honesty. Okay, where? A lot of people spoke about here. You see, you spoke a lot about honesty. Okay, so a lot of keywords said about respecting privacy. So this is what we're talking about here as well. So remember, if you're a researcher, you have to be honest. Okay, it's very, very important because research is about being transparent. Okay, you cannot fabricate, don't falsify, don't misinterpret data because your entire findings will lead to something else. Okay, and then number two, what is important is, okay, integrity. Somebody commented on integrity as well earlier. Okay, it was a very big keyword here, integrity. Very good, well done. All right, so you are right. You promise something to your participants, you have to keep up your word. Okay, you have to be sincere and you have to be consistent throughout. Otherwise, you are not upholding to the element of integrity. You have to be very careless. You must avoid error because if you make mistake, okay, in your examination, you are going to, what will happen if you calculate something wrongly and you publish that as your results? What will happen, guys? Let's say you're doing a product test, okay, and then you do a market research, but you presented your data wrongly. What will happen to the product that you're going to produce? What will happen to the company? Let's say your boss asks you to do a research. Okay, go and find out how many people like durian toothpaste, and then you go and give statistics. Oh, out of 20 million people, okay, you say out of 20 million people, at least 15 million people like durian toothpaste. And then you start a big production manufacturing durian toothpaste. And then you realize it is not 15 million, but it's just 0.5 million. What will happen? Your company will go on a loss. Okay, nobody is going to buy it. So you're going to lose a lot of money. That's it, no profit. So that is in terms of market research. Okay, but if you're doing some kind of, can you imagine, we always say this. You know who always says this? Our co-founder, Dr. Paramjit, always says this. Don't make mistakes, okay, at work, because can you imagine, you're a heart surgeon, or you're a heart surgeon, for example. Oh, I forgot that it is the right side of the heart. I accidentally operated the left side of the heart. Can a surgeon afford to make that kind of mistakes, guys? Oh, I forgot it is the right kidney. I accidentally removed your left kidney. So certain mistakes can be fatal. All right, so that's why we have to be very careful, and it's very important to keep good records of research activities. Okay, and in research, openness is very important. You must share your data, results, ideas. Okay, that's very important. And yeah, like what you say, researcher will not be trusted. Okay, And it's very important to respect for intellectual property. You know, copyrights, if they said it is material is not for profitable organization, it's only for non-profit organization, you must respect that. You cannot you simply use pictures, circulate information, and plagiarism is definitely a big no. All right. And like what we were talking about just now, confidentiality is very important in research. Publication, you know, all the journals we are doing, those are publications. So if you write research articles, you find the right place to publish your work. And you know, when you're doing like assignments, you give it to us, right? We check your assignment. Later, when you want to finish your degree, when you're finishing your degree or diploma, there is this mini project you will do. Degree, we call it final year project. You'll be given a mentor, a supervisor. So if you play the role of a supervisor, we have to be we have to ensure that we do responsible mentoring. Okay, we do the mentoring work in a very responsible manner. We have to educate the students. We have to check your assignments, not assignments, we're talking about final year project, but it's the same with assignments as well. Okay, so that is our commitment to students and to research. Okay, is this clear? Is it clear? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Now, if you have no questions, I want you to look at this case study and tell me, how is this? Why is the font? Why is the color? Could you read what I've posted? Is it clear? Okay, so the question is, I want you to read the case study and tell me, is it plagiarism, falsification, or fabrication? Okay, guys, I want you to tell me why. When you say falsification, you have to tell me why is it falsification? Why is it plagiarism? Otherwise, how would we know the reason? A lot of you say it's fabrication, fabrication. Okay. So why is it fabrication? Is he making up a data or is he manipulating the data? Is he making up or he's manipulating? He is manipulating. Manipulation. Sarda, he's okay, making up a data mean from zero, meaning he didn't do any research, nothing, from zero, and then he's just saying that, you know, oh, I've done something. That is fabrication. Yes, Cheng Hao, it's falsification because he is just predicting for the extra 5 because you already have the 45 there. He's just manipulating the data and existing data and saying that, oh, this is 50 miles, but actually it's a data for 45. So guys, do you see the clear distinction between manipulation and fabrication? No worries, that's why we do this kind of mini quizzes in lectures so that you understand what is happening. Okay, so is it clear? Is it good? If you have no questions, that was the last part of the lecture. Okay, so today's lecture, the focus is mainly, okay, it's on, we started off with what is ethics, right? And then let's recap. What else did we do? We spoke about falsification, fabrication, plagiarism, and then we spoke about ethical considerations in research, right? Like honesty, okay, integrity, and there were so many other concepts. All right, any questions, guys? So the advice, the moral of the story is don't plagiarize. We have a lot of technology today to identify all this. So don't do this. Even your seniors' work now, everything is submitted on Moodle. Everything is digitally captured. We have a copy of all your work. So do not get into plagiarism. Okay. Before we end the class, I have a video of viewing pleasure. Okay. Your viewing pleasure, not picking on any nationality or country, but this is just something that, you know, I just want to wrap up the lesson with this, and it's just, we are just sharing. Okay, we are just sharing something. I always forget to do something before sharing, which is to enable the sound facility. Okay.
Famous Bihar cheating scam last year, students in Rohtas were again caught cheating away to glory as teachers cared two hoots, as you will see, and looked the other way. A shameful incident which has led again to the question about the education system in Bihar and if it has even slightly changed pictures. Take a look.
Bihar's clueless arts topper who couldn't answer basic questions. And a science topper who didn't know what the periodic table was.
Most reactive element periodic table mein kaun sa hai?
Just 3 days after dismal board exam results, graduation students in Bihar's Rohtas were caught cheating during an exam as unfaced invigilators looked away. A grim reality of the deplorable condition of Bihar's education system. Remember, last year, students in Bihar crossed all limits and even scaled school walls to cheat during exams. Some even hung from classroom windows, an education scam exposed. And this year, 64% students in Bihar board have failed the 12th standard. Sadly, the percentage too has dipped, with the science topper scoring 86% and commerce topper only 81.6%. However, the state education minister says that exams are now being conducted in a fair manner. But the reality on ground is in stark contrast to the minister's claims. With Rohit Singh in Bihar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, so this was before lockdown. Okay, before lockdown. So now the question here is exactly Asfar, and that boy was the topper. Okay, I just have one question which I would like to hear from you, the answers from you. Why is this pressure? Why is this pressure? Why do we have such pressure? Why do we have such pressure? That scared of parents, competitors. Your cousin might be doing better than you, getting better opportunity, expectation from others. You don't want to be judged. Oh, you didn't even pass, you didn't get. They don't get proper and high quality education, so they need help. Very good, Sa'ad. It's just a world where people only look at your grade. Yeah, what grade did you get? Yeah, perception, people's perception. Okay, what will people think of me if I fail? Okay, so you see, these are the problems we have. Okay, I'm throwing this back to you. Okay, don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about all these, inferiority complex. Don't worry about what your cousins get. Okay, you be truthful to yourself, and when it comes to assignments, one of the main reasons why students copy, number one, is last minute, number two, lazy, number three, never pay attention in class, so you have no idea how to do the assignment, and then you realize your deadline is so close. So please, that's the reason why we talk about assignment. We do assignments in the sense that you are guided and you are coached in every lesson. So make use of that opportunity and do your best. Don't ever think of all this copying, cheating, how do I do it without being caught? Instead of thinking about all that, that's very tiring. Okay, might as well you do the assignment or the exam properly. Okay, so don't waste time thinking on how to escape from being caught. That is more tiring compared to studying for the exam. Is that clear? Okay, so I'll take the attendance now. I hope that the lesson was clear. I hope the message is clear. Okay. So don't worry, we are here to help you, but you have to help yourself. All right. So you are all very lucky. Your parents have, they're spending a lot of money. All right, sending you to a good place to study. I have to say it's a very good place. Yeah, it's not because I'm working here, but compared to so many other institutes where it's not even recognized, people study in places like that because they have no money. You are very lucky. Your parents have found a good place, a very well recognized and a reputable place to study. So please make use of this opportunity. All right, don't get into all this plagiarism, copying, academic dishonesty. It's very, very it's unfair to your parents. It's very shameful. So don't do that. All right, So any questions you ask your teachers, your lecturers, they will definitely help. Okay, so don't get into this cheating thing. All right, I hope that the lesson was clear. Okay, I hope the lecture was clear. It's a very simple and straightforward lecture, more of a message as well. Okay, so have a great day. Oh, we will only meet next year, am I right?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, Happy New Year, happy holidays, Merry Christmas for those who are celebrating. Stay safe, okay, have a lot of fun, but stay safe at the same time. Follow SOPs, okay? Chen Kamun, are you here? Chen Kamun, Cheong Yiling. Who's that?
I'm Carmen.
Kamun is here, okay. Yiling?
Miss, I'm here.
Yiling, good. Okay. Wow, so many raids. What happened? Are you here? Uzma? Uzma? Kaifeng? Uzma, Kaifeng?
Yes, I'm here, Miss.
Kaifeng, Uzma is not here. Shami, Sutej is here. I remember you responding. Shami? Shami Nabil? Who's this?
Jamil.
Hello, miss. I'm here. My IP space not working.
Okay, no worries. What's your name?
Shami.
Great.
Hey,
Earlier
thanks,
was
miss.
have a good day. Samuel, are you here? Samuel? Samuel is here.
Also, miss, can you sign in for Rifat?
Right. Where's Ripert? Is Ripert here?
He's using the toilet right now.
Okay. Ziyi, Baker, Michelle, Jamil.
Here, Miss.
Who's this?
Thank you. Michelle.
Okay, hold on, yeah. Okay. Okay, Michelle.
Thank you, Miss.
Welcome. Baker, Ziyi, Ibrahim, Ibrajinov, Harish, Go, Edric.
Miss, I'm here. Edric.
Edric is here. Okay,
Thank
Edric, have a good day. Eima Kimura, Kaseng, Harish, Ibrahim, Engzi, Baker, Uzma. Okay, if you're done, you can start leaving the class.
Miss Z is here.
Huh? Who's here?
Z go toilet.
Which Z? Z. Okay. Who else? Okay, no problem. Sutej. Shami, attendance taken. Rifat. Okay, attendance given. Okay, guys, if you're done, you can start leaving. Okay, if you have questions, you can stay on and you can ask questions.
Yes.
Yes, Art.
Ma'am, if you have a question regarding individual assignment, can we ask later on if you don't mind?
Later on, as in you want to what? Ask after the class? This is, we're finished. Is that a personal question?
No, ma'am, it's regarding individual assignment. If you're doing assignment, then if you're facing something, can we ask later on?
Later on meaning when?
Ma'am, maybe on tomorrow or on Monday or on Sunday.
Okay, can. You can only send messages on Teams unless you see a note that I am on leave. If I'm on leave, I'll put a note. Other than that, it's not a problem, and we can, of course, it will take time to reply. Yeah, Saad.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, guys. Have a good day then. Bye bye.